Alright, so welcome everybody to today's session of the training. Yesterday we looked at website development technologies and we saw a few examples of them, and then we went on to look at what a domain is. Today's session we are going to be looking at website hosting, and then we will begin with a practical aspect of the lesson. So basically, websites, the hosting is just the space um, where you save your website files. So if you have a website, the website is actually made up of different files, maybe HTML files which you have coded, or you have images that are part of your website. And so the space on the internet where you save those documents for them to become globally accessible is what we refer to as hosting. And then the domain name becomes a direction to what that hosting. So that is basically what hosting is. So the next thing we are going to be looking at is WordPress. WordPress is just an open source content management system which was written in PHP. It is open source because it allows for community participation, or it's open for anyone to add or take something from it. People can add to the main software that was released. You can either pick it and modify it anyhow you want it, and then bring it back for people to use. And it was written in PHP, and that is why I decided to look at the website development technologies earlier, so that we know where we are heading to. Now, when we look at WordPress, we have two of them. We have two variations. We have WordPress.com and then WordPress.org. WordPress.com and WordPress.org are the same. The only difference between them is that with WordPress.com, it is hosted online, and then it's run by the parent company, which is Automatic. Automatic is a company that runs WordPress. And so when you're going to run a website using WordPress.com, you don't pay for hosting. You're going to have your website come as octa.wordpress.com. If you're going to use WordPress.com, you're going to have your website running as a subdomain of the parent website. You can, however, buy a domain and then connect it to it so that you can have your website run as octa.com. However, with WordPress.org, it is self-hosted. That is, if you're going to create a website using the WordPress.org, you're going to host it yourself. You're going to use your own domain, use your own hosting. And so it is not, when you compare the two, WordPress.com is relatively cheaper. But then when you look at flexibility, then the ability to do more, going with WordPress.org is always the best option, because with that you're able to have the freedom. You host it on your own server, and then you have your own domain, and you're able to tweak it and create almost anything with WordPress.org. WordPress powers over 30% of the entire websites on the internet currently, and it's due to the fact that it's open source. And so when people are using WordPress and they come up with challenges, there is always a way to help. There is always someone who will help you find a solution. And so WordPress has over the years become very, very popular among most website designers. Alright guys, so now we are going to go ahead to purchase our hosting. So here we are on Namecheap's website, and Namecheap is just one of the numerous websites or companies out there that offer hosting and then domain to people. So we are going to register for their hosting. When you let's look at the packages there. So we are going to choose their shared hosting. So when we come to shared hosting over here, they have three packages. And so with these packages, they come different prices and then different properties. So when you look here with their Stellar package, it comes at 188. You get a domain name, you get three websites, and then you get 20 gigabytes of SSD, which is solid state drive, SSD space. One thing to note here is that SSD servers are faster than HDD servers, and so when you are purchasing hosting, make sure you look out for that. And then you also get free CDN. So while recording this video, I nearly skipped something out. The CDN is a content delivery network. There are servers all around the globe. And so when your website is hosted on it's on a CDN, what happens is that the website files are copied onto all the servers around the globe. So you probably have a server in Africa, you have one in Europe, you have one in Asia, one in America. And so anytime somebody anywhere in the world tries to access your website, they are directed to a server that is closer to them. And so it's easy for them to access your website, or they can be able to access your website faster than when your website doesn't have a CDN. With the Stellar Plus package, you get domain name, you get unlimited, you get to host unlimited websites, which I think is cool. Then you have an unlimited SSD, so you have unlimited space as well. And then you're also given a free CDN, and you also have access to automatic backup with their Stellar Business package, which comes at 498. You get a free domain name, you have unlimited websites, you have 50 gigabytes of SSD space, you get a free CDN, automatic backup, and then there is more that is given down there. So when you scroll down, they have lots and lots that they are offering. Right. So we are going to go with their Stellar Plus package, and then I'll take you through it. Then they say they're giving you a free domain for the first year, so you may want to select that. All right, so um when you come here, we have chosen the Stellar package. Then if you want to register a domain, you just go to new domain name, then you select new purchase, and then you type in the domain. So maybe you want to um house all. So all right, so houseofall.com is already taken. Then it gives you alternatives. If you find something which you like and it's available, you're just going to select. So now from here you see that house of all is selected. House of all is selected over here, and it's free for the first year. So that's what they are going to give. But I'm not going to register a domain, because I already have a domain which I'm going to use, so I'm not going to register the domain. If we want to register a domain, you want to buy a domain, you just proceed with it, and then you click here to connect it to your hosting. But I'm not going to do it, so I'm just going to get going. So I already have my domain which I want to connect to it already. So I'll just click on what existing domain name, and then I'll just continue. So I'm just going to find my domain over here. So I've searched for the domain, and then I have connected. So I'm going to go ahead to purchase the hosting. So they have some offers over here. I'm just going to leave it. Then I'll just click on confirm over here. Great. So I'm now going to enter details for the payment. So I just go to continue from here. All right. So you just do a final cross check before submitting. So we are choosing the Stellar Plus package for a year, which is going to be $35.44. And then we have entered our payment details as well. So let's just click on pay now. All right. Sorry, there is something we are missing out. Okay. So let's accept the terms. Then click on pay now. Great. So right now we have successfully purchased our hosting. All right. So here in the mail, when you scroll down, you are going to get the details for your cPanel. And so when you can just visit your domain which you have bought, the domain name .com/cPanel or whatever you have bought /cPanel, then you're going to have the username and then the password to use. Great. So right now I'm in my cPanel. This is the hosting panel, or this is the cPanel. In the next session, we are going to look at the features of the cPanel and how we will be able to use them to our advantage as website designers. However, from this stage going, it's going to be very, very practical. And then I know there are some of you who may not be able to afford to purchase their hosting right away. So there is also a way out when it comes to working with the system which we are going to be using to create the websites. We would definitely need a server. And so now that we have purchased their hosting, we're going to keep it. When we get to that time, we will use it. All right, so here we are in the cPanel, and I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough. Just going to see, we'll see what we have. So the first thing we have right here is what the email options, which gives you the chance to create emails, and then um, it has the email forwarders, and then all other things that are related to emails. We're going to create a professional email or a business email, what you usually see info@businessname.com. We are going to create such, and then we'll do some work on it later. Then the next one here is what the file section, which contains the file manager. It helps you to see the disk space and other things over there. Then we have the database here, which um, includes the PHP, MyAdmin, the MySQL databases, and other stuff. Then we have the domain section here. So here is where you'll be able to manage your domains. You'll be able to add or delete a domain. Before we purchase the hosting, we saw that the package which we are choosing, which is the Stellar Plus here, gives us the ability to add unlimited websites or to host unlimited websites on the same hosting package. And so from the domain section over here, you're going to be able to manage that. So you can manage your primary domain, then you can add more domains if you want to add more domains, or you have more clients coming in and you don't want to purchase new hosting for them. You're going to add it over here. Then you can create subdomains over here, and then here too contains the metrics, the stats, and other stuff. And then here contains the security tricks for the hosting. And then here we have software which you can install to run applications. Those are the applications which you can use to create web apps and other stuff. And then down here we have the Softaculous app installer, and we are going to be using WordPress to create the websites we're going to be working on. Now, I believe that you all have purchased your hosting and then your domain. So we are now going to install WordPress on the hosting which we have purchased and then begin creating our websites. So from now we are entering into the full practical mode, and I just hope you all get along with me. If you could remember, while we were looking at the website development technologies, I stated that PHP is a server-side scripting language, and that means that it can only be passed through what, a server. So for you to be able to have PHP running, or the PHP component of your website working, it needs to be what, accessed through a server. Then you'll be able to have it function well, and that is why we had to purchase the hosting, so that we'll be able to have access to a server to develop our website. However, I know that there are some of you who will probably will not be able to purchase the hosting, and you would still want to move along with us. And so I'm not we are not going to leave you out. We are going to install a local server which will still help us to run WordPress, or will help us to develop our website without necessarily buying hosting. The only difference is that your website will only be accessible on your computer. You cannot access it somewhere else. That is the only thing, which is, and then you are not going to have a domain linked to it directly. As you go ahead, I will give more explanation on all that. So to be able to get access to the local server, let's just open our browser and then visit this website. So we have different types of local servers which we can use in website development. So one of them is what we have, the example, and then the other one we have WAMP, and then we have MAMP. We have other ones as well. So in this tutorial, we are going to be working with example. So just visit this website, apache-friends.org. Great. So now we are on exams official website. So we are going to down. So depending on the machine you're using, if you are working on Windows, you have the Windows option here for you. If you're working on Linux, here for you. If you're working on Windows like I am, then you choose this option. So I'm just going to download my exam. Great. So Chrome is going to give you a warning. Just go to keep, and then you wait for it to download. I'm gonna pause the video. When it's done downloading, we resume. Alright, so we have our exam successfully downloaded for us. So what we are going to do is, let's just go here, then show in folder. You can just simply go to your downloads folder to access it. So I'm going to right click on it and then run as administrator. So this option is for those of you who have not been able to purchase the hosting and you need to move along with us. So we're going to install this local server which will help us run just like we are running the live server. Alright, so while running the installation, we can just go to OK, next. Now we are not going to be needing all this. We're just going to be needing PHP my admin. We won't need Perl, no Tomcat, and then we'll need this. So just leave MySQL. We have Apache, which it's automatically checked. we can't deactivate. So we go with MySQL, FileZilla, PHP over here, then PHP my admin. So we go to next, next. Right, so we leave it to run. All right, so we now have example the local server successfully installed for us.